Hey everyone, and welcome back to this week's J-Shelf. So this time around, we're going to be looking at one of my favorite games from the Sega Dreamcast, and that would be the revolutionary Phantasy Star Online. First released back in the year 2000, this was a huge success for Sega and a revitalization of the original series. Speaking of which, before we dive into this game, let's look back at the history of Phantasy Star. The original Phantasy Star was released on the Sega Master System in 1987. And with a deep sci-fi storyline for its time, some impressive 3D first-person dungeon sequences, and really colorful graphics, this pushed the hardware as far as it could go, and it proved to be an instant success. The series then jumped to the Sega Genesis, or Mega Drive, and it was followed by 3 sequels. The 4th game in the series, Phantasy Star 4, is seen as one of the best games on the Genesis. With the release of the Sega Dreamcast, Sega finally saw fit to take the Phantasy Star series out of hibernation and update it for a new generation. What resulted was Phantasy Star Online. Now remember, this is coming at a time when online gaming was not that common for consoles, and so Sega was really pushing the boundaries of what was thought possible in an online game. Players could interact with one another, chat in real time, and join up from people all over the world on a hack-and-slash RPG quest that spanned 4 different maps. The turn-based style RPG gameplay from the original 4 games was replaced with hack-and-slash action RPG elements. Players just had to hit the A button repeatedly, and they could go swinging through hordes of different monsters. So, while this alienated some players of the original series, it did bring this game into a new audience, and it was much more accessible for the online portion of the game. There are unofficial fan servers online, so people that still want to experience Phantasy Star Online on the Dreamcast, or its other versions on the Xbox or GameCube, can still find a way to hook up the game and play online. The story of Phantasy Star Online did not take place in the universe of the original 4 games, although there are countless characters, items, and locations that seem similar. Phantasy Star Online was later upgraded on the Dreamcast in version 2. This version saw some new enemies, the character could level up to 200 instead of 100, and some new online modes. The game was later ported to the GameCube and Xbox, and these ones included an amazing split-screen, offline multiplayer mode, as well as 4 new maps, so it greatly increased the replay value. In addition to the 3rd Phantasy Star Online title, which was a card-based fighter on the GameCube, a 4th was also released on the PC, known as Blue Burst, which included even more new levels and enemies. The version of Phantasy Star that I'm playing here is version 2 on the Dreamcast, and it's so relaxing to just come home from work, pick up the controller, and just hack and slash my way through so many different monsters. So while the game is somewhat repetitive, it is fun to just level up and get new items and gain experience. It is unfortunate that the online mode is currently no longer available. However, there are plenty of missions and side quests that can be had in the single-player offline mode. After the success of Phantasy Star Online, Sega decided to release a new Phantasy Star series entitled Phantasy Star Universe. And while this one attempted to get back to more of the story and character-based elements of the original 4 games, many fans felt that the story was too childish and the characters too cartoony. It is currently unknown if Sega will ever really go back to the turn-based elements of the original 4 titles. However, Phantasy Star lives on. New versions have been released on the DS and PSP, and there are countless ways to play the original games on different ports and collections available on the PS2 and other systems. For me, I still enjoy playing the Dreamcast original. It's a relaxing game, it's so much fun to play, and I really recommend you try searching it out. So, that's my recommendation for this week. I really love the Phantasy Star Online series. I love the original series as well, but for what it's worth, I think they're 2 great franchises existing in the same universe. So, I hope you enjoyed this week's J-Shelf, and we'll be back next week with another review. See you next time.